Hello and a very warm welcome. Thanks for tuning in to News 9 Live. Welcome to our special coverage. A lot is going to happen today, but starting with the top news, because amid Rahul Gandhi's disqualification from the Lok Sabha Secretariat on Wednesday has issued a notification stating that the disqualification of Lakshadweep MP PP Mohammad Faisal has ceased to operate. Now, this is in view of the Kerala High Court suspending his conviction on the 25th of January this year. Notably, the Lok Sabha notification came ahead of today's Supreme Court hearing in the petition filed by the NCP MP challenging the refusal to revoke his disqualification despite the stay on his conviction by the Kerala High Court. That's the latest that's coming at this point in time. Joining me in the studio is my colleague Karthike Sharma. Karthike, it's quite interesting to see that on one hand you've got a Rahul Gandhi that's fighting for his disqualification, and on the other hand there was this talk about the hastiness with which he was removed from the Lok Sabha, and still the Lakshadweep MP not being reinstated. Now today there was an SC hearing, but ahead of that SC hearing, his disqualification that has been revoked. He has been reinstated. That's coming from the LS Secretariat.
It was a bit of a struggle on part of the Lakshadweep MP because he almost escaped the dragnet. He took the stay. The assembly election was delayed, but the restoration took time. You see, he had to go to the higher court to get the reprieve. So Lok Sabha Secretariat on its own was not accommodating the Lakshadweep MP. So it was a bit of a struggle on the part of Lakshadweep MP to get inside the sanctum sanctorum of Indian democracy. So I think it was a struggle. But it also goes on to say that somehow the government has behaved in a high-handed way. The way automatically they disqualified Rahul Gandhi, eviction notice has been sent under the rule. So automatically he should have been inducted in Lok Sabha. I think it should have happened on its own. Now, this did not happen on its own. He had to go to the court. He had to make sound and fury about it. So, I think somewhere it casts a seed of doubt in people that the rules or the legality can be tweaked to favor powers that be. But I would say that Mohammad Faisal is a lucky man that at least in a short period of time, he has been able to get back his membership of Lok Sabha. It's not a small joke. Not only you don't get to contest elections for 8 years, but you also get debarred and disqualification, not getting to contest elections. It's like losing a social status in politics. So I think it's very, very tough law. And when this law comes into existence, people mark you out. So, you also fight a stigma. But then politicization of crime or criminalization of politics is something we Indians are dealing with. Yesterday we saw conviction of Atiq Ahmed. I'm just giving you an example. It has nothing to do with the Honorable Member of Parliament. It took 44 years for one person to come out and give a statement against this man. Every witness was bumped off. So, crime in politics is a problem, but somehow the fear within the opposition parties is that is it getting weaponized against them? But I would say at least there is a deterrence.
Which is exactly what I was going to come to, Karthike, because you spoke about those clouds of doubt, which similar clouds of doubt are now looming above Rahul Gandhi. Now the tussle and the struggle that the Lakshadweep MP has had to go through, do you think the Congress is going to weaponize these struggles as well? Something that should have happened automatically. He is now having to move legal institutions for that.
I would say that one need to really recall 1980s, 5 years before Mandal. And exactly 6 years after Mandal, you had political parties which openly accommodated criminals. Like for example, Samajwadi Party in early 90s accommodated a lot of people with dubious background. Similar thing happened in Bihar. A lot of people say that it is, it's the resurgence of the OBC politics. I would not use the word OBC, but I would say that was a phase in which people like DP Yadav, Atiq Ahmed was elected to assembly for 4 times. He even became a member of parliament. And look at Shahabuddin's case also. So we had criminals in the parliament and it was creating problem for our democracy. Look at the issue of Bellari brothers, though that was corruption. But criminals in parliament, people with criminal cases in parliament, Even Vijay Mallya was honorable member of Rajya Sabha. He is a fugitive now. I have covered Vijay Mallya. I have seen Vijay Mallya entering parliament in his Maserati, a 2 crore car, and he would he would just stand there in gate number 4. So these were the issues. But yes, sometimes people become, I would say, a casualty of it. But I think it's a good law. It's a tough law. At least we know which people will not be able to come in. But in this case, a lot of people said that it was an overreach in context of Mr. Gandhi. Defamation globally is a civil case. It's not a criminal case. So now Mr. Faisal is in. It's a big news of the day. But I think the biggest news is the eviction notice which got served to Rahul Gandhi yesterday evening, and the Karnataka polls, which are to be announced today. The big gig of the day, Kabir. The big gig.
Absolutely. Brijesh, give us a sense of how you're understanding at the weird ways of the Secretariat with which it's working. On the one hand, hastiness in disqualifying Rahul Gandhi, and on the other hand, a little bit of a delay in reinstating somebody that should have been reinstated a long time back. And let's not forget, the Member of Parliament already had to move, the several legal institutions to make sure that he gets reinstated in the first place.
Well, I think, the haste and the political fallout, Kabir, is crystal clear in front of everybody, because, such a quick automatic disqualification once the lower court's judgment came out, which held him guilty for 2 years in the criminal contempt case. It speaks volumes about the way the law can be weaponized. I can completely understand, what the BJP is saying is because the BJP has planned it completely. We were the one who discussed firsthand when this came out that how this is not going to be an attack on Prime Minister and how this is going to be a fight. BJP will take it to the OBC plank, and this is playing out exactly the way we had discussed when this particular news broke out that he has been held guilty of criminal defamation. What is interesting is that, the fact that Congress still now has not approached any higher court to seek a stay on the proceedings. This also shows that the Congress has also thought it through, that they will try to portray Rahul Gandhi as a martyr, Rahul Gandhi as someone who has been done wrongly by the BJP. And this is the path which they have taken as we speak, as how the entire thing is being played out. The BJP is very clear in its thought that it feels that if Rahul Gandhi is leading the pack of united opposition, they do not need to fear that much as various regional satraps fighting on and forming their own coalition minus the Gandhi factor. They're not worried about Rahul Gandhi leading the pack. They are in fact more comfortable about that particular scenario, because till now, from 2014 till 2023 as we speak, 2 months before the Karnataka election, they have been very clear that whenever they took on Rahul Gandhi, they have managed to not only win but win handsomely. And this is the reason they are not at all worried about, because had they been worried about, they would have just stopped short of after disqualifying him. They would not send him a message. He would not have got a notice from the real estate wing which asks him to vacate the bungalow within 1 month. Remember, in Maharashtra, when Eknath Shinde won the symbol, the first thing which he said was, when he came on air while reacting to this development, was he said, like, I'm not concerned about the Sena Bhavan, I'm not concerned about the money. Because he knew what, if he went after that, the kind of message it will send and how it will make Uddhav Thackeray a martyr which will be unbeatable. This time the BJP feels very, very secure in its belief that if they push Rahul Gandhi or the entire opposition to a scenario where Rahul becomes the key guy, the guy to go to, and if the entire opposition get galvanized behind him, the chances of Modi defeating Rahul Gandhi will be much, much better than a chances of BJP taking out a solidified united opposition sans Rahul Gandhi.
And Karthikeya, we just heard what Ashwini Vaishnav also was talking about not being above the law. Nobody is above the law. Is it a case of a prestige issue where the ruling dispensation of the day feels like Lakshadweep MP is not above the law, but Rahul Gandhi portrays himself as he's above the law?
No, see, there are two different issues. Mr. Faisal was very clear that he wants to get his membership back. So he went to the court. The election got stayed. EC had to act in motion. Then the narrative was that Lok Sabha Secretariat is not automatically taking cognizance that the matter has been stayed at the High Court. So the gentleman had to go to the Supreme Court. So before the hearing, the Lok Sabha Secretariat automatically allowed his admission into Lok Sabha. So Mr. Faisal's objective was clear, which was to get back to Lok Sabha. Now, in case of Mr. Rahul Gandhi, I think it's an issue of strategy. Now, the issue is whether Mr. Gandhi wants to be a martyr, why is that delay, why hasn't the legal luminaries of Congress approached the court. So, I would say that the issue of Rahul Gandhi lies at the level of strategy, which is that they need to decide whether he should be pushed as a martyr one, or Rahul Gandhi should take legal recourse two, or should they wait for some time, let the politics fester, let it become a glue for the opposition. Then, all of them can go, with signatories and approach the higher court. Let Rahul Gandhi be the underdog and a victim and a martyr. So, in this context, I would say that the delay is happening. But what that delay has led to is the eviction notice from his house. Now, Mr. Gandhi has also responded. Our correspondent from TV9 Bharatvash, who covered the beat, they have reported that Rahul Gandhi's office has written back that he would leave the house as per the guidelines within the time. Now, Mr. Gandhi is saying he would leave the house. It means that he is going into something long drawn. He's not looking, I'm just going by the source-based information part of our network. So the source-based information is, he says, I'm going to leave the house within the stipulated time. It tells me a sense of intent of Mr. Gandhi, which means he wants to turn it into a long battle. It means that the Rahul Gandhi will not mind staying out of Lok Sabha, because he understands when he goes to Lok Sabha, he doesn't get to speak. 52 MP don't count for much. They can always shout down MPs. Opposition is not uniting behind him, and he has tasted success at Bharat Jodo Yatra. I'm just trying to put a couple of things together, and he understood that as a person, not a president of the party, not the parliamentary leader of the Congress party, he created a lot of fervor for the Congress. So he maybe has located his mojo, which is like with the people on street, going out. So my understanding is that he would like himself to be out of this orbit and do things like BJY. That is why this delay is taking place, because sometimes we think that these people are confused. No, it's not confusion, it's deliberation. Sometimes we think these politicians are confused. No, maybe they are taking time. Maybe they are seeing something which we don't see. Maybe they are hedging their bets. They lose their bets. They hedge their bets sometimes wrong. But in this case, I think something is happening, or else that statement would not have been sent to Lok Sabha Secretariat that he would vacate the house. It is a signal, and I'm just catching on to the signal in context of the deliberation that must be taking place.
Also one thing I would like to also add to what you're saying is also that the fact that, in case of Pawan Kheda, how swift the Congress was, reached Supreme Court in a minute and they got a stay.
I was in that flight.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was in that flight.
And they could have easily done that in the case of Rahul Gandhi, but they have not done it till now.
Brijesh, everything happens in politics on spur of a moment.
Absolutely.
Let me take, I think now I can say these things on record. It took 1 minute for two people to get down and sit on the tarmac. It's a crime. You don't do that. It's an offense. I will not use the word crime. It's an offense. You don't sit on the tarmac. Once you are inside the aircraft, you don't get to come out till security takes you out.
Right.
Randeep Singh Surjewala came out in a minute and he was on the floor of the tarmac. There were two leaders of the Congress party who didn't who didn't get up from their seat. Former Union Minister and respected Member of Parliament from Delhi. I will not take his name. He continued to sit there. But rest of the party came out. They were ready to court arrest. So, yes, I completely agree with you, Brijesh, that these decisions can be taken quickly. But not taking a decision means that they want to see the reaction. Who gets galvanized? Who doesn't get galvanized? Yesterday, on Sharad Pawar's insistence, Mr. Gandhi had to dial down his tone on Savarkar. So I think within the opposition phase, whether it's the Faisal story which we are doing or it's the Rahul Gandhi story which we are doing, there are a lot of things happening simultaneously. There are a lot of moving wheels.
And very interesting thing, Kabir, if I may get 30 seconds. Very interesting thing is that all of it, the Rahul Gandhi being the leader, the entire narration being pushed around him, all the opposition parties, standing behind him. The most important thing is that election, which is going to be announced in another, say, 45 minutes and all, that is going to be the biggest test. That is going to be the litmus test which decides which way the Congress goes. If Congress wins Karnataka big, then trust me, Rahul Gandhi will not even want to go back to Parliament. They will use that to ensure that the 6 years pendency case gets drawn. But then they would like to go big as far as this narration of Rahul Gandhi as a martyr is concerned. So all depends on Karnataka.